Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, May the 15th. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week, and on Thursdays we look at fantasy and science fiction. Hope you're having a good day. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight. It's Thursday night. I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Tonight starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Time and goes for 2.5 hours. Good afternoon, Helen. How are you? How's it going over there? How's your day been? Let us jump into fantasy and science fiction. First up, start of a new trilogy or series by Joe Abercrombie. I like his writing. This one sounds a little bit more paranormal than usual, but he does write good epic fantasy. This is called The Devils. Holy work sometimes require unholy deeds. Brother Diaz has been summoned to the sacred city where he is certain a commendation and grand holy assignment awaits him. But his new flock is made up of unrepentant murderers, practitioners of ghastly magic, and outright monsters. The mission he is tasked with will require bloody measures from them all in order to achieve its righteous ends. Elves lurk at our borders and hungry for our flesh, while greedy princes care for nothing but their own ambitions and comfort. With a hellish journey before him, it's a good thing Brother Diaz has the devils on his side. Danielle Jensen has a new one. Second in the saga of the Unfated. This is called A Curse Carved in Bone. The secret of her divine heritage revealed, Freya finds herself on a path that will see thousands of lives lost to the magic in her blood. Desperate to avoid this dark fate, she risks an alliance with Skaland's greatest enemy to seek answers from the seer who foretold her future, the same seer who sent Bjorn to kill her. While Freya still seethes with rage over Bjorn's betrayal, the blood oaths that bind her demand that she keep him close as she hunts for a way to avert the looming war. Her magic draws her to the front lines of an old enmity, instead of enemy, enmity, embroiling her with Nordalin's unfated children of the gods who serve the king she was raised to fear, the same king who, unlike Bjorn, is now willing to fight at her back. For despite the desire that burns hot between Bjorn and Freya, his growing distrust of her chosen path threatens to drag them further apart. As war approaches, the gods and mortals must choose their weapons. Yet the fiercest battle will be the one Freya wages within herself. With the magic of two goddesses burning in her veins, she must weave the threads of destiny to decide her own fate. Will she be the shield that protects her people or the curse that destroys them? Angie Kills a King by Evan Lycum, first in the Rising Tide series. Or trilogy or duology. We don't know yet. She killed for a cause. Will she die for it too? Angie works as a castle servant, cleaning laundry for a king she hates, so when a rare opportunity presents itself, she seizes the chance to cut his throat. Then she runs for her life. In her wake, the kingdom is thrown into disarray, while a bounty bigger than anyone could imagine lands on her head. On her heels are the fabled mercenaries of the menagerie, whose animal-shaped masks are magical relics, rumored to give them superhuman powers. It's the hawk who finds Angie first, a surly, aging swordswoman who has her own reasons for keeping Angie alive and out of the hands of her fellow bounty hunters, if only long enough to collect the reward herself. With the rest of the menagerie on her trail, so begins an alliance as tenuous as it is temporary, and a race against death that will decide Angie's fate and may change the course of a kingdom. Circular Motion by Alex Foster. Oops. It always does that jump. The acceleration of Earth's spin begins gradually. At first, days are just a few seconds shorter than normal. Awareness of the mysterious phenomenon hasn't reached Tanner, a young man preoccupied with dreams of escaping his tiny Alaskan hometown. One night, desperate to make his mark on the world, he runs away. He lands an unlikely job at CWC, the operator of a network of massive aircraft that orbit the Earth at 30,000 feet, revolutionizing global transportation. Now goods and people can travel anywhere in little more than an hour. You can visit Paris for an evening or order sushi from Japan. But just as Tanner settles into his new life and begins to consider if his feelings for a male colleague might be more than platonic, CWC is shaken by a wave of social unrest and protest. The unrest sweeps up Winnie, a high school outcast in an era of street protests, wild parties, and online savagery. Winnie falls in with a group of teen activists who blame CWC for the planet's acceleration. As days on Earth quicken to 23 hours, then 20, the sun rising and setting ever faster, causing violent storms and political meltdowns, Tanner and Winnie's stories spiral closer together. They meet cynical executives toiling to forestall the crisis that created and religious zealots for whom the apocalypse can't come soon enough. Lobbyists and lovers all coping in their own ways, and Victor Bickle, the self-aggrandizing TV scientist, whose shameful secret will bind Tanner and Winnie's fates, if they can uncover it before the Earth spins so fast that even gravity might lose its grip. 3-hour days. 2-hour days. I'm sorry, the planet would not be surviving. End of row 1. Tides and things like that. Metallic Realms by Lincoln Michael. Perennially single, socially awkward, and drowning in debt, Michael Lincoln finds his life has turned out nothing like the intergalactic lives of the pulp heroes of his youth. But these are pedestrian concerns. He has a higher calling, and that is to preserve for all posterity the greatest stories in the history of the written word, the Starrot Chronicles. Written collectively by Michael's best and perhaps only friend, Terrace K. Castle, and his misfit science fiction writing group, The Orb 4, the stories follow Captain Baldwin and his fearless crew on their mind-bending adventures across the metallic realms, from solar whales swallowing suns at the edge of space-time to extraterrestrial romances and interstellar wars. These masterpieces have gone tragically unpublished, until now. But the most urgent story Michael must tell takes place in the more intimate, if no less dramatic, confines of literary Brooklyn. Behind the greatest universe ever created, there are the all-too-mortal people who wrote it. As Michael chronicles the personal melodramas of the Orb 4, as well as the funhouse reflections in their fiction, the line between real and unreal becomes dangerously thin, and the true reasons for the group's fallout begin to emerge. As he labors away in hiding, Michael has just one mission: to bring the metallic realms to the world, no matter the cost. The Glass Garden by Jessica Levi. This is a novella, but a novella in science fiction is 132 pages, which is kind of the equivalent of cozy mysteries lately. Dr. Therese Blake is a homebody archaeologist devoted to the history of planet Earth, but when her sister Lissy makes a stunning discovery near an abandoned colony on a distant exoplanet, the sisters team up to discover its secrets. Eerie, luminescent images cover the walls of an underground cavern. The Glass Garden looks like a payday to Lissy, who's been struggling to turn a profit to keep her salvage crew fed and paid. Therese, however, insists on careful academic procedure. She can't figure it out. Is the anomaly an artificial creation or a living organism? As the anomaly's secret draws the sisters into an obsessive orbit, it turns out neither greed nor science can offer protection from its relentless gravity. Christopher Moore has a new one. This is called Anima Rising. Vienna, 1911. Gustav Klimt, the most famous painter in the Austrian Empire, the darling of Viennese society, spots a woman's nude body in the Danube Canal. He knows he should summon a policeman, but he can't resist stopping to make a sketch first, and as he draws, the woman coughs. She's alive! Back at his studio, Klimt and his model-turned-muse Wally tend to the formerly drowned girl. She's nearly feral and doesn't remember who she is or how she came to be floating in the canal. Klimt names her Judith after one of his most famous paintings and resolves to help her find her memory. With a little help from Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung, Judith recalls being stranded in the Arctic 100 years ago, locked in a crate by a man named Victor Frankenstein, and visiting the underworld. So how did she get here, and why are so many people chasing her, including Jeff, the giant croissant-eating devil dog of the north? These are all good questions. A Goddess Unraveled by Morgan Ryder. Lexi Maxwell has grown up surrounded by wealth and privilege, but also by rules. The rare moments of freedom that Lexi enjoys come when she's out riding, but even then there are strictures on where she can go and with whom. When she arrives home for a weekend-long celebration in honor of her college graduation, Lexi is surprised by the number of eligible bachelors who vie for her attention. She doesn't have a lot of experience with the opposite sex, but these loudmouth, arrogant boys fail to impress her. Enter the mysterious Luke Carrington. She is instantly drawn to him, but despite his charm and intelligence, her parents and godfather warn her to stay away from him. Lexi, however, cannot be deterred. When Lexi learns that her life has been one long lie and the people claiming to be her family aren't who they say they are, she turns to Luke for solace. It doesn't take long for him to earn her trust and her heart, and suddenly Lexi is willing to follow him anywhere to keep him close, even into the underworld. Okay, so this is Persephone Hades. Gotcha. End of that row. A Simple Twist of Fate by April Asher. At the bright-eyed age of 18, witch Harlow Harry Pierce attended her first Fates Festival finding ceremony, certain the Blue Will-O-Wisp would lead her to her fated match, her cougar-shifter boyfriend Jackson Atwood, but fate had other plans, guiding her best friend to him instead. With a broken heart, all her belongings, and a vow to never return, Harry did the only thing a heartsick witch could do, run. 13 years later, she returns to her magical hometown with her half-human, half-shifter goddaughter in tow, hoping that not only would the town work its magic on the troubled teenager, but that the local alpha of the Rocky Mountain Pack could help Grace identify and control her fiery abilities. Jackson Atwood was a shifter of few words and even less patience until his mother retired as alpha of the Rocky Mountain Pack and left the running of things to him. It's a headache he didn't need, and one that brought the witch who'd ripped his heart from his chest knocking on his door. Ever since the disappearance of the town's Fate Witch over a decade ago, Fate's Haven's magic has been slowly going haywire. There hasn't been a fated match made in 13 years, putting the town in serious jeopardy of losing its title of highest fated mates percentage in the world. Who cares? But now something is stirring in Fate's Haven, Colorado, and it smells like the past, tastes like change, and looks like a simple twist of fate. Stormwood by Donna Grant, third in the Elven Kingdoms. I do like that cover. I never wanted to fall in love. My sister's disappearance damaged me for such things. I've devoted my life finding her, no matter where that leads me. I could never have imagined it would bring me to him, a human with haunting celadon eyes, and a determination that rivals my own. He's strong, brash, and gorgeous. Maybe that's why I was caught off guard when he acknowledged that I was a covert agent. It's a secret few know, and if word gets out, I'm as good as dead. Too much rides on my identity remaining hidden. I have no choice but to help him navigate the perilous depths of the below and all who reside there. But the lines that were once so vivid between us slowly begin to blur. We have only each other to survive, and trusting him with my life is one thing. With my heart, that's something I can't even consider. Yet I can't stop wondering what his lips would feel like against mine. I can't help the ache I feel to be near him, and I can lie to him, but not myself. I crave his hard body next to me. I never wanted to fall in love, but he stole my heart before I had a chance to safeguard it. Now fate is pulling us apart, but I intend to fight for him, for us. The Incandescent by Emily Tesh. Look at you, eating magic like you're one of us. Dr. Walden is the director of magic at Chetwood School and one of the most powerful magicians in England. Her days consist of meetings teaching A-level invocation to 4 talented chaotic sixth formers, more meetings, and securing the school's boundaries from demonic incursions. Walden is good at her job. No, Walden is great at her job. But demons are masters of manipulation. It's her responsibility to keep her school with its 600 students and centuries-old legacy safe. And it's possible the entity Walden most needs to keep her school safe from is herself. What Sleeps Within the Cove by Harper L. Woods. 4th in the Of Flesh and Bone series. Once I bartered my soul for my mate. Offering Mab my bound allegiance was the only way to save Caldrus's life, the only bargain I could make to keep us both from the void. After cruelly murdering the King of Summer, her own brother, Mab becomes unhinged, and there is no telling what she would do. Caldrus is safe for now because of my sacrifice, but at a cost. Queen Mab only wants one thing from me. Then I was banished to Tartarus, from where few ever return. Mab has demanded a tribute, a snake from the crown of Medusa. Navigating through the horrors of Tartarus, I must pass the trials of the 5 rivers to prove my worth to the primordials and steal the unthinkable, all without my magic. Now I must embrace my darkness, my past. To survive, I must discover who I am, who I'm fated to be, human and fey and something other. Embracing all the sides of magic, light and dark, is the only way to escape Tartarus and get back to Caldrus. I will save him, the fey, and the humans from Mab, even if it kills me. End of that row. We are kind of running out of time and many to go, so we're going to just do some jumping in and out. Speed dating, as I like to call it. Call of the Owl Woman by K.M. Huber. This is a tale inspired by Peru's Andean cosmovision and earth-centered spirituality. Anti-Gravity, book number 19 in the El Donsai series. This is a hard science fiction thriller. She has a nerve mutation that made her a genius and providing her with astonishing athletic abilities. The Gilded Nest, 9th in Crow Investigations. Lydia Crow is back. It looks like this is a fantasy mystery, historical mystery to find a modern day, no, not historical, a modern day Jack the Ripper stalking the streets of Whitechapel. Jennifer Ashley has a new fantasy. This is a mystery author who has written at least 2 other series. Is Stray Cat, 16th, woo, in the Shifters Unbound series. A link shifter. '16th in series. At the end of that row. Crown of Betrayal and Blood, 3rd in the Dragons of Tyrene series by Nina Frost. In every shadow of fate, there is a truth you cannot see, is its tagline. Inked in Ashes by Shannon Mayer, 1st in the Inkbound series. It says for fans of Once Upon a Time and Wicked. Shadow Dominion, Taken to the Stars, book number 12 by J.N. Chaney and Rick Hartlow. Charlie and his allies have been trying desperately for months to find a way to prevent the Jarath swarm from their endgame, from conquering Earth to turn it into a hive, using humans to breed their young and feed them. Blech. Yeah, stop that, please. Crown of Wrath and Ruin, Courts of Etheria, book number 3 by G.K. DeRosa. It says, perfect for fans of Fourth Wing and A Court of Throne and Roses. This Vicious Dream by Stacia Stark, first in the Kingdom of Death. Once I helped save a kingdom. Now I'm trapped in a prison of thorns and nightmares. My crime, knowing the location of a power that could reshape the world, a grimoire I swore to protect with my life. And that is it. Apologize. There were actually a lot of them here, so we didn't get to see in depth all of them, but we did get to touch upon them all. So that is it for today. Again, I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, close your eyes after a tough day. Hope you don't have a tough day, but if you need to have some self-care time, this is the time and space to do it. I just provide the ambiance. Tomorrow is Friday, yay, Freeform Friday, where we look at things that catch my attention, or the rest of things like the cozy mysteries that we don't have time to get to. So I hope you have a very good Thursday. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.